welcome to another DCU Daily. I apologize, I was muted. But, final day of the week, it's going to be a little crazy here. So, sorry for that. We had a bit of a 2-day break. So, now we're refreshed, we're here, we are going to have some fun. Now, we do have a lot of stuff for you guys, obviously, because, missed 2 days of news, so we have a ton of stuff. We got some box office stuff, projections, and otherwise. We have a little bit more bidding war news in regards to Paramount still throwing a temper tantrum. We have a bit of movie talk madness in regards to the upcoming awards circuit, not just the Oscars, but other ones as well, like the BAFTAs and the Producers Guild Awards. Then we have some MCU Weekly news. It appears that somehow Blade didn't return. It is official that the Blade reboot is now dead, but the Daywalker is not quite dead yet. So we'll talk about that, as well as some rumors in regards to Spider-Man. Kat Dennings had something to say about her Marvel future, as well as a couple trailers and a bit of X-Men news. Then, of course, we have our quick hits. A lot of quick hits today. We have like 20 quick hits. A lot of renewed and canceled and greenlit and dated, this, that, and the other thing. Lots of stuff coming in for that. And then, of course, our piece of resistance, we have a bit of DC news. Quite a bit of DC news for DCU Daily, of course. We have DC Quick Hits. Then we have What Did Gunn Say on his threads. And then we have the start, quote-unquote, of the summer of Supergirl. Well, what's going to be part of the summer of Supergirl? Now it's really the winter of Supergirl, but that's okay. And then, finally, a bit of Batman 2 news, which will lead into our Fancast Friday, of course, in addition to a bit of news in regards to Man of Tomorrow. So, we have all of that and more to get into the show right now. Let's start that wonderful, glorious news intros and properly get into the news.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number 2.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Alright, welcome to the news portion of our lovely little show here. Well, before I officially start, I'm going to welcome some people. Caleb is in the chat. Hello, Caleb. Lovely to see you. Monique, also lovely to see you. It's the 40th anniversary of Labyrinth last night. That's cool. That's really great. And then a new person, Sergeant Giratina, evening. Hello. And then Caleb talking about Batman Part 2, and so we will get into all of that later. Obviously, we're going to talk about new stuff, and with all of that, let's officially get into the news with the first bit of information in regards to Primate. Leads with previews with $1.4 million. Greenland 2 Migration, the sequel to Greenland, of course, that stars Gerard Butler and Morena Baccarin, is at 900,000, projected at 900,000, as Avatar Fire and Ash passes $321 million domestically. So obviously, we're going to be talking about that for a little bit. But yeah, this seems to be our projections for the weekend. Apologies. But in terms of what has happened and what will happen, but Primate for the first Paramount film of the year. Primate rang up 1.4 million from both Thursday night showtimes and previous previews. Meanwhile, Greenland 2 Migration did 900,000. Triple note on that Gerard Butler movie. Canada isn't going this weekend. Primate and Greenland 2 were forecast to make 8 to 10 million heading into this weekend. So that's the projection side of things. Despite all of this, the James Cameron directed threequel grossed $2.5 million yesterday, ending its third week at $55 million for a running cum of $321.2 million. So, Primate is opening up today, and that is set to have a rather decent box office, considering that horror is recession-proof, that no matter what, people go see two things at the modern box office: superhero movies and horror movies. Horror movies are always going to make money no matter what, because mainly they are, cheap to make, but also people love horror. It's like horror is timeless. People find the beauty in it. But yeah, so that's great to hear from the general box office. Then you have, all this. This is the topics for the week. You have Avatar: Fire and Ash, Zootopia 2, Housemaid, Marty Supreme, and Anaconda. So very nice to see. We'll see where Primate and Avatar 2, Greenland 2, apologies. We'll see where Primate and Greenland 2 hit with this week. I believe also the very small indie film Dead Man's Wire, directed by Gus Van Sant, starring Bill Skarsgård and Dacre Montgomery, will also be premiering this week. So, yeah, comfort in a weird sort of way, but I'm not complaining because I love horror, so, as you can tell by the Evil Dead poster in the back. And then I have more horror posters that you guys can, I have my Thing poster over there, and then, I think I have an It Chapter 2 poster behind my dresser, so, also Acres of Movies, lovely to see you. May 8th, I don't know if you're new or not, but lovely to see you if not. But yeah, it seems that is going to be our box office rundown for the day. But in addition to that, we do have some projections for this upcoming week. Well, now we must get into Caleb's favorite part of the news, of course. And that is more bidding war news. Yes, because Paramount refuses to quit to the point that they think that the Netflix Warner Brothers merger is presumptively unlawful. But apparently Paramount is big mad. They're so mad that they can't get this damn company that they're just going to lawmakers being like, hey, they can't do this. This is unlawful. It's not unlawful when we get the company, when we want the company and make a monopoly and control the news cycle, but only when Netflix is doing it. Because, we're mad and fuck them. It's just, David Ellison just having the world's biggest temper tantrum. I appreciate that reference. Got our own Ryan O'Neal over here. Monique, Paramount, no one wants to dance with you. Take the hint, okay? Stop making fetch happen. It's not going to happen. Paramount, it's not going to happen, all right? Just, it's not, Greenland 2 will make 90 million worldwide. I don't know what the first one made, but that kind of sounds right. But yeah, it just, on the day that Warner Bros. Discovery Board announced its rejection of Paramount's latest bid, the David Ellison-led conglomerate took its argument to Capitol Hill in a letter filed with a House Judiciary Antitrust Subcommittee on Wednesday. Paramount's chief legal advisor, Makan Delrahim, wrote to lawmakers that the Netflix-WBD combination is presumptively unlawful. Delrahim wrote that Netflix's proposed acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery was unlawful, arguing that it would further cement its dominance in streaming video on demand, ignoring the fact that buying Skydance Paramount buying Warner Brothers, that would not assert dominance in any facet. but only when Netflix is doing, because it'll dominate streaming video on demand, where it's like, it's either you do or you don't. Like, it's either none of this is lawful or all of it's lawful. Because if Warner Brothers selling to Netflix is unlawful, then Warner Brothers selling to Paramount is unlawful. Now, that could be their, plan, is like, if I can't have them, nobody can have them, and deeming this unlawful will essentially make Skydance, Paramount buying them unlawful, thus nobody can get it, and Warner Brothers stays its own company, which is the best thing, but, no problem. They have more money than maturity. Most rich people have more money than maturity. We are at that point. But the letter was filed with the committee on the same day that it held the hearing on the streaming market, with the sale of WBD a primary topic of discussion among lawmakers and the expert witnesses. Paramount representatives did not address the subcommittee in person, but the lawmakers have been taking written comments. A frequent point made during the hearing was that much will depend on how the government ultimately defines the relative market, i.e. whether Netflix competes in a narrow world of subscription streaming or for premium content, or a much wider landscape that includes YouTube and social media. Del Rahim said that the broader market definition was tortured and absurd, and something that no serious regulator would ever accept. And he kind of goes on and on about all of this. Netflix spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request for comment, and last month Warner Bros. Discovery entered the deal with Netflix, with the latter buying the studio and streaming assets, and then the cable channels will spin out into a separate company, which I believe we talked about that a trust fund wanted that. So yeah, it's just, oh goddamn, it's just Paramount just throwing the world's biggest temper tantrum at this point because they can't get what they want. It's honestly funny. It's so inherently pathetic, yet so funny at the same time. It's just, damn. I mean, I don't want either of these companies to have Warner Brothers. I just want Warner Brothers to remain its own thing. But if I had to, I would say Netflix, even though Netflix would destroy the movie theater experience, like 100%. Because once Netflix starts, the death of the movie theaters will move on 100%. Like it's been fast, but it's gonna go faster. Absolutely, 100%. So yeah, good stuff. So this isn't really merger news, but it is talking about it like an agreement, a deal. So that's something. But yeah. So I think yeah. HBO Max signs bundling deal with streamer RTL Plus in Germany. The agreement, which comes as Netflix is negotiating a deal to buy HBO parent Warner Bros. Discovery, will see RTL Plus and HBO Max offer both their services under a single subscription in Germany. So all of you German viewers, I don't know how many of you are watching right now, but this is something. This will be a bundle that you can get, again, kind of furthering the cable parallels, but, that's neither here nor there. But HBO Max is signing this deal. So, yeah, more merger talks, although this is not really merger, it's just like an agreement, a deal. So, good for them. May or not. Maybe this is terrible. I don't know. I'm not German, so... But that's it for merger news. See, Caleb, quick and easy. We're done. We're moving on. Now we can move on to bigger and better things, of course. So the next thing that we will be talking about is, of course, Movie Talk Madness. So let's get into that. Movie Talk Madness is where we will be moving on, and we're going to be talking about some, nominations. Like, there's a lot of, not just the Oscars, but a lot of award shows are creeping up. We had the Critics' Choice Awards a couple weeks back, but now we're talking about Oscar predictions as well as some other ones we'll get into now. So Leonardo DiCaprio's action movie just broke a 27-year record, and it's huge for the Oscars in 2026. So, although I wouldn't really call One Battle After Another an action film, I mean, it's kind of action-y a little bit. I mean, it's more of a drama, but it's got some action. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think One Battle After Another is an action movie? I guess it's a non-traditional action movie, but, like, whatever. Anyway, so award season is now in full swing. Before the Oscar nominations are announced later this month, various precursors have been weighing in with their picks. As the Golden Globes and Film Critics Associations hand out their accolades, films such as One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, and Marty Supreme keep popping up, establishing them as the year's strongest contenders based on how the latest round of awards voting turned out. There could be a clear favorite in the Clubhouse. The nominations for the 32nd Annual Actors Awards, formerly known as the SAG Awards, have been announced, and One Battle After Another found its way into the history books. Paul Thomas Anderson's acclaimed thriller scored 7 nominations, which is the most for a single film in Actor Awards history. It bested the previous mark of 5, which was originally set by Shakespeare in Love, and had been tied multiple times. Sinner would have been the latest to tie the record, if not for One Battle After Another. Check out the full list of nominations for One Battle. So this is everything that One Battle is nominated for the Actors Annual Actors Awards. Outstanding performance by a cast, a male actor, which went to Leo, male actor in a supporting role, which went to Benicio del Toro, another for male actor in a supporting role, which went to Sean Penn, female actor in a leading role, which went to Chase Infinity, female actor in a supporting role, which went to Teyana Taylor, and then finally, outstanding action performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture. So even though I didn't like the film, I think this is great. I think this is good for them. Again, I'm just not a Paul Thomas Anderson fan. I don't really like this movie all that much, but I mean, still, congrats to them. I think this is great. Is my new kid. I'm the next Walter Cronkite. Drama. Yeah, I would say it's maybe like an action drama. I mean, it could be 2 things, right? So congrats to them. But yeah, just because I don't like a film doesn't mean I can't respect the fact that, you know, it achieved a great nomination record. So that's awesome. I hope it doesn't get any, but still, it's good. But next up, we have the Producers Guild Awards nominations, season's heavy hitters, and one big surprise vying for top film prize. So we will get into that now. And of course, we are going to get into that. So with all of this, it's been a busy week for awards nominations, and now we get to the Producers Guild vying for the Guild's top film prize, the Daryl F. Zanuck Award for Outstanding Producer of Theatrical Motion Pictures, are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams, and Weapons. Sorry, Dan texting me right now. That's okay. But yeah, so it seems as though, we have, hold on. The list is a who's who of 2026 awards contenders, but includes one big surprise with the inclusion of Zach Krieger's well-reviewed horror hit Weapons, which hadn't popped up on any precursor Best Picture list before today. It also comes from Warner Brothers, which, with One Battle After Another, Sinners, and its distribution deal for Apple's F1, has 4 of the 10 nominees. So, good on them. Congratulations for them. So for the Daryl F. Zanuck Award for Outstanding Producer of Theatrical Motion Pictures, you have Begonia, which is all these people. F1, although the nominees are to be dated. You have Frankenstein, you have Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Values, Sinners, Train Dreams, and Weapons, and many more. Obviously, we're not going to be getting into that too much, but congrats to all the nominees for the PGA Awards. Although it would be the PGA's, not the PGA Awards, because then that's like chai tea or pin number. Anyway, but last but certainly not least, the BAFTA Awards long list, One Battle After Another, of course, leads with record 16 nods. Hamnet and Sinners follow with 14 each. The Long Walk was better, but okay, didn't love what. I will say I loved Weapons. I have to agree that The Long Walk was better. Hello, Elite Easy, although you said oop BRB, so, will you see I have seen Inherent Vice. I hate that movie. To be fair, I saw it at a young age. I remember watching, the only thing I remember is, like, the really awkward sex scene in that movie. Outside of that, it was entirely forgettable. I think, like, Joaquin Phoenix was, like, a barefoot PI or working at, like, a vet clinic or something. I don't know. It was dumb. It was weird. It was pretentious. I didn't care for it. I mean, didn't There Will Be Blood win? There Will Be Blood won for Best Picture. I don't know. I don't know if he won, but I'm pretty sure that he won for oh no, There Will Be Blood didn't win. No Country for Old Men was the better movie. So Kayla, you're ahead of me. Yeah, I saw 62 movies last year. I don't know how many I have set up for this year. I believe I have 38 set up for this year, but obviously stuff is coming out constantly. Some things are not dated yet, so you have that. I think I have 39 because, well, we're not going to be talking about it. Godzilla Minus Zero did get a release date. We'll be talking about that maybe on Monday. Yeah, I guess so. It's just not for me. Anyway, so One Battle After Another, it came away with 16 nods after voting across 25 categories, predictably alongside Best Film, Director, and Adapted Screenplay. It dominated the performance lists. Jason Infinity, Leo, Tiana Taylor, Benicio, and Sean Penn. Then we have Hamnet and Sinners, Marty Supreme, Begonia, Sentimental Value. Wicked for Good even snuck their way on there, I Swear. Billion, The Ballad of Wallace Island as well. So Nuremberg also got in there too. It Was Just an Accident. A lot of stuff. The Smashing Machine, Jay Kelly, Urchin, My Father's Shadow, After the Hunt, The Testament of Ann Lee. After the Hunt and Testament of Ann Lee were shutouts. They did not get any nominations, even though there was some nominations. But the best film were Ballad of Wallace Island, which I did see. I don't think it's worthy of best film, but I think a very entertaining film. Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, I Swear, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I would say the safest ones on this list are definitely Nuremberg and Ballad of Wallace Island. I think Marty Supreme and Frankenstein are definitely worthy of it. Personally, I don't think One Battle After Another is. Sinners, I could go either way. It's such a small award that if it wins one, it's fine, but I'm not going to cry if it doesn't. It would mean more to me if Sinners won the Oscar, but that's most likely very unlikely. I hope Timothée Chalamet will win Best Actor. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to cry if Michael B. Jordan wins. I'll cry tears of joy, but I'm not going to be upset if either. I just don't want fucking Leo to win. Like, he already won for a lesser performance with The Revenant. I don't want him to win for a lesser performance like this where he's just some, like, weird whack job yelling for half the movie. But yeah, I loved Michael B. I thought Michael B. Jordan was excellent, but I do think Timothée Chalamet did give the better performance. However, both were supremely excellent 10 out of 10 performances. Yes, I mean, the thing is about the substance, it was too, a little bit too weird, too body horror, but but Sinners, it's a bit more popular, and they kind of also don't like that because who the fuck had heard of, like, Sentimental Value before it received, like, awards, like, the award was in the award circuit, so, I mean, here's the thing, Caleb, here's the thing. You underestimate the Academy because they will name elevated horror to anything they like, you know? Like, or they won't call it horror at all. Like, they'll call it a psychological thriller. That's what they like to do. Like for instance, Silence of the Lambs isn't a horror movie. It's a psychological thriller. Because they don't want to admit that a horror film won Best Picture. As well as, there's that. So, they'll still name Sinners an elevated horror movie. Because, you know, it deals with, like, racism and political ideals. And, you know, it's all this, that, and the other thing. But in reality, it's not, but they'll claim it is because they don't want to admit that, like, a movie about where fucking vampires are killing people and all that shit, like, you know, they don't want to admit that they like that and will give that award. So they'll call it elevated horror, even though all of us know it's really not. But yeah, that's it for Movie Talk Madness. And now we're going to move on to the last bit of news, which is MCU Weekly. MCU Weekly, guys. So, first things first, we of course are going to be talking about the rumor. Well, it's a rumor, yes, but I would just like to say this is a rumor. But I had to entice the viewers, guys. So apologies for the clickbait. But rumor. Another rumor, Blade reboot is dead at Marvel Studios. Mahershala Ali, although Mahershala is spelled wrong, it's Mahershala according to these. But guys, come on, fucking clean up your typos. Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. Mahershala Ali will debut as the Daywalker in Midnight Suns. This has been a long-standing rumor for a while that they're going to throw Blade out because for some reason they just can't figure out guy who kills vampires. For some reason, like, they just can't figure out guy who kills vampires. It's, like, too fucking out there for them. It's, like, fucking crazy. But apparently he'll debut in Midnight Suns, which, this has been, like, a big rumor for a while, but it's cropping up again. But this is coming from our favorite scooper, Jeff Snyder. So we will see if this is actually true. Most likely not, because Jeff Snyder sucks. So during this episode of The Hot Mic, Jeff Snyder said he's heard that the Blade reboot is now dead, but the plan is for Ali to make his MCU debut as the character in Midnight Suns. Ali was asked about the status of the film while being interviewed on the red carpet of last year's Jurassic World Rebirth premiere. While he made it clear that he is more than willing to suit up as the Daywalker, the ball is very much in the studio's court. Call Marvel. I'm ready. Let them know I'm ready. And then he went on to say, I would love for Blade to happen. We'll see. I don't know where Marvel is at right now. I was just looking for a next great part. I really am. So for me, I think Midnight Suns is a good way to go. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I think if Midnight Suns is successful, and specifically Mahershala Ali is successful in said movie, I can't imagine he isn't. He's a great actor. He was great as Cottonmouth. He would be great as Blade, even though Wesley Snipes is who many categorize as the only Blade. I mean, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine didn't help that argument either. But if he were to finally adopt that, I mean, he is canonical in the MCU with that Eternals post-credit scene. So, you know, I think do a Midnight Suns movie, get a bunch of people that, like, get a bunch of supernatural, but, like, get Moon Knight and, like, Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, and Blade, have them in a movie, just all the people that aren't going to get projects in the near future, have them fight a supernatural threat. Maybe this can be what Clea and Doctor Strange were going to go do, and he's like, I need a team of people, so you got to add Clea in there, and then have them go off and fight whatever threat that was promised at the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And then if Mahershala Ali is successful there, then you could spin it off into a Blade movie, and then you can make it work from there, because I think that would be the best course of action. Again, I don't know, I'm not a business guy, I don't run Marvel, but I'm just saying, I think Midnight Suns would be cool. And I think you could throw a bunch of supernatural people in there, and then you can spin off Blade if he's successful. So, yeah. And then a bunch of those costumes made it into Sinners, apparently, according to them. But did you watch? I never watch Hot Mic. Fuck Hot Mic. Yeah, no, that's true. Marvel will let you know when you're ready, when you're 90. But because Jeff Snyder always perpetuates bullshit, and frankly, I'm just kind of sick of it. And he always and he's very anti-DC. Like, he always wants, like, DC to fail, and he always perpetuates crap like, oh, like, Superman wasn't successful, the test screenings were bad, this, that, and the other thing. And he always claims inside sources, even though he's wrong most of the time. So, frankly, he can suck it. Also, hello, Tony, nice to see you. Should have done more specials like Werewolf by Night. I agree. I mean, we are getting a Punisher special written by John Bernthal, so that's definitely exciting. I might actually watch that. But we are going to be getting more, at least a Punisher special. I don't know if we're getting anything else, but we are getting a Punisher special. Have Man-Thing be in the Midnight Suns movie. Boom, there we go. Perfect. Jeff Snyder's a mean girl. Yes, the Blade movie proves cosmic irony does exist. Yeah, and I agree we will see post-Secret War, so we'll see where the landscape is for that. But this is just a rumor. Who knows if this is happening? We'll see. But next up, Billy Clements, who played the Russian in Deadpool and Wolverine, at least, you know, what this is saying, is reportedly playing Ramrod. What a name. In Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is coming from Cryptic 4K Qual, who is a known scooper. And who knows if this is true. I would assume that this character is like a cold open villain, because I can't imagine that a character named Ramrod is a major villain, but, you know, we'll see. Yeah, Supernatural, Space, Spider-Man, X-Men, Avengers, those are your pillars. I mean, it could be worse, could be Codpiece from DC. I don't know where you left your comment, I didn't see it. But yeah, that's another rumor. Cool, great, don't care. Anyway, Kat Dennings says Marvel Studios did scan me. To be honest, they could put me in anything they want at this point. Who knows? I'm in the system. Honestly, the only thing I would want to see Kat Dennings in is stuff that's too inappropriate for this podcast, so I will not go into that. But yeah, so if you ever wanted to see more Kat Dennings in Marvel stuff specifically, then they can scan her. They can, she gave up her humanity and dignity for Marvel because Marvel is fucked up. Explain, what did Mahershala Ali jump ship to? Because we didn't hear anything about that. But I need more cat. Yeah, just watch Two Broke Girls. There you go. Taserface. Anyway. But yeah, they did scan her, and cool. Next up, Wonder Man TV spot reveals first official look at Simon Williams in his comic-accurate superhero suit. So, yeah, so we did get a little bit right here. Let's see if we can scroll through. Oh, see, we do see a little bit right there. There we go. We see him in the Wonder Man suit. And then we see a little bit more here. So, yeah, cool, great. Also, kind of don't really care. But before we move on to the final story, I have to check to make sure that nobody is showcasing stuff. But anyway, next up we have James Marsden talking about being in the suit. And yes, so he just had this to say. I'm not going to get into it, but, you know, he's wearing the OG comic book uniform, although without the trunks, so fuck them for that. So he essentially talks about how they nailed it, he liked it, it was good, and we'll see where he actually, you know, goes into all this, but yeah. Cool. Don't really care. I mainly wanted to talk about Blade, and I talked about Blade. So, let's hope it's better. I mean, the low bar. But yeah, that's it for MCU Weekly. Now we're going to get into something a little bit quicker with the quick hits. So let's dub up that music and get into those proper quick hits. Speaking of Paramount, Top Gun Maverick script suit goes into tailspin for supposed scribe, another win for Paramount. As America's Enemy learned the hard way on the big screen in the Top Gun flicks, it's really not a smart move to mess with Pete Maverick Mitchell or his franchise. Now, for the second time in a week, a federal judge has grounded a lawsuit against Top Gun Maverick. In fact, not only has U.S. District Court Judge Jed Rakoff decided Sean Gray's copyright claims of contributions to the 2022 blockbuster scripts are DOA, dead on arrival, but the Paramount's August filed counterclaims can push it to Mach 10. Paramount moves for summary judgment on Gray's remaining claim of copyright infringement, arguing that Gray's infringement claim must be dismissed for various reasons, one of which is that Gray's own copyright is invalid. Because the court agrees with that agreement, need not address Paramount's other arguments. So, yeah, so the little guy loses, a company wins, that's no shock. Next up, speaking of a good segue, Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa unleash brotherly chaos. First trailer for The Wrecking Crew delivers Lethal Weapon vibes. And no, not the Wrecking Crew of Marvel, and no, not the Wrecking Crew as in the NES game of the same name. It is simply just a generic title for a generic action film with two big muscly men to go at it. Cool. I guess that's nice. Not Aquaman. Well, it was easier to stitch in Aquaman, but, you know. I'm okay. I'm just a little... it's just a little hot in this room. I'm gonna put on the fan during one of the intros, so, you know. But, yeah, it's a decent team-up. I don't think I'm gonna watch this. I mean, Dan would probably watch this. This is definitely up his alley, so, yeah. Next up, so, speaking of something I'm not gonna watch... Lord of the Rings, Hunt for Gollum. Apparently new details about the film's search for an actor to play a younger Aragorn. So, you know, he's not coming back, but the conversations I had over with the real people, not just anonymous names on the internet, based on these conversations, auditions for Aragorn are taking place this week in London. Aragorn is being recast with auditions happening both in London and New Zealand. They're considering unknown actors. I've been told by people close to casting that Ben Barnes and Sebastian Stan, who look very similar to Viggo Mortensen, are considered too old for the vision of Aragorn. The film reportedly takes place in the 20 years prior to Fellowship of the Ring, acting as a bridge between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, because that's what we really needed, was a bridge between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Fucking, you know, J.R.R. Tolkien didn't need this shit. It's going to start filming in May. It's going to be directed by Gollum, and it's all about Gollum. But I'll tell you two secrets about the casting. There's a character in the movie called Frodo and another character called Gandalf, and apart from that, my lips are sealed. So Sir Ian, despite having a nervous breakdown on the set of The Hobbit, has agreed to come back as Gandalf, and we assume that Elijah Wood is coming back as Frodo. Or maybe they'll recast Frodo with a younger role. Who knows? But, yeah, also hello Nelson Moreno, lovely to see you. Somehow Sauron, well, I mean, it's a prequel, so Sauron is already, you know, back, technically, but, you know, whatever. I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be very good. Andy Serkis pretty much hit the ground running with Mowgli and then has been tripping ever since. So, you know, speaking of tripping, possibly, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, now called Lee Cronin's The Resurrected League, reveals vile scene, first plot details, and James Wan walked out of a test screening. So, apparently, according to this, Universal Pictures gave up on plans for a short Dark Universe shortly after the Mummy movie starring Tom Cruise flopped. Yeah, no shit. So, according to, Feature First, FearHQ.com, the negative buzz on social media from test screenings is correct. The movie, which has 2-hour runtime, is reportedly so bad that Atomic Monster founder James Wan of The Conjuring fame walked out halfway through. It seems Cronin, who received positive reviews for Evil Dead Rise, might have pushed the horror elements too far. One scene is described as truly vile by the site, with a scorpion that crawls into somebody's mouth and severs their vocal cords, leading someone to stick their fingers down that person's throat and press on their cords, allowing them to speak. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty fucking awesome, and James Wan can go fucking kick rocks, because if we're getting stuff like that, then that's awesome. But the report doesn't elaborate on any issues the Resurrected might have. Of course it doesn't, because that would be, you know, cater to the idea that this is actually real and true, which it probably isn't. But if this is a hard R horror movie, then it might explain why the decision was to move away from the Mummy branding. So in terms of plot details, the site has learned that it follows two parents, Jack Rayner and Leia Costa, and their children, Shiloh Molina and Elmo Mitchell, who are struck by tragedy when their daughter vanishes after being cursed by a mysterious woman. Nearly a decade later, a plane carrying a sarcophagus crashes, and inside is a now adult Kate who isn't all what she used to be, unleashing a dark, mysterious force on the family. So even despite these apparent negative test screenings that may or may not be true, I'm still excited for the movie. I think this sounds pretty awesome. So, yeah. Sounds goofy as hell, but fun. But yeah, and there's that Dangertainment. But yeah, I think this sounds cool. I don't care what anybody says. This sounds awesome. Next up, Catherine Hahn in talks to play villain Mother Gothel. Yeah, the most obvious fucking casting in the universe for the most obvious fucking character. Yeah, wow, crazy. Nobody could have figured that out. Next up, Mark Hamill reveals what J.J. Abrams told him when he questions lack of Luke, Han, and Leia scenes. But he said, I said, aren't we going to have a moment where all three of us get together to raise the roof? It'll only take 30 seconds. The actor recalled, and JJ said, being the biggest dumbass in the universe, he said, well, Mark, it's not Luke's story anymore. Yeah, but then you also went on to create what is considered by many to be the worst Star Wars film ever made, so maybe you needed some insight from an old veteran like Mark Hamill. Frankly, JJ, go fucking kick rocks, you're a piece of shit, and you made 2 shitty fucking Star Wars movies. Eat ass. Next up, Michelle Randolph to star with Christopher Briney in Clashing Through the Snow for Amazon MGM Studios. It sounds like shit. But yeah, it sounds like a shitty fucking Christmas movie. That's all I can tell you. But yeah, congrats, I guess. You're leading in something, but it's not going to be good. But big news for people is that The Pit has been unsurprisingly renewed for season 3 at HBO Max. The critically acclaimed show, which is now, I believe, just started its sophomore season on HBO Max, has now been officially renewed for a season 3. To the shock of no one, I can see this thing running for fucking 10 seasons because I've heard nothing but absolutely amazing things about this movie. So also, hello Movie Spud, maybe JJ should have listened to Mark. Yes, I think we could all agree that, yeah. Because then Carrie Fisher fucking died, and then Han Solo died in universe, so now we will never get that. Thanks, JJ. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, but Liz will be stoked. She loves, yeah, I mean, most people love The Pit. I don't think I've heard a bad thing about The Pit. So, yeah, to the shock of no one, as I keep saying. But yeah. Next up, Black Mirror has been renewed for a season 8 on Netflix, even though many people have claimed that it isn't as good as those early seasons anymore, but, you know, it's good enough that it'll keep going. I believe this will be the first season without Charlie Brooker, though, because I think he left along with Annabelle Jones. So, you know, but I guess he is coming back. I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. But yes, season 8 for Black Mirror. Because I remember Charlie Brooker saying he was not going to return for this season, or was leaving Netflix or something like that. But yeah, so I think, that's good for them. Next up, Love Island All-Star Season 3 gets premiere date on Peacock. What's the premiere date for all? January 14th. Woo, don't care. New Jackass movie coming to theaters in June, and the biggest thing in regards to this is, in fact, it's coming out now the same weekend as Supergirl. So Supergirl is going to have a little bit of, competition there for that weekend. And this, Jackass, it's been a while since there was a Jackass movie. The last one, I believe, was Jackass Forever in 2020. So, and people, remember Jackass, and, it was a big thing. So there might be some, nostalgia there. So people might be going to the theaters for this. I mean, I'm not saying Jackass makes billion-dollar movies, but Supergirl might get wrecked that weekend. Obviously, we'll see. But, these guys are like in their 50s. Nobody asked for another Jackass. Is JJ a jackass? Yes, he is. JJ Abrams is indeed a jackass. Jackass is competition? I would think so. I mean, it's two very different demographics, but I could see this, because it's just like, it's the nostalgia of it all. People remember, I remember watching this fucking Jackass when I was like a kid. I'm gonna go see it, and then. So I think you're gonna go get all the dude bros for fucking Jackass 5, and then you're gonna get all the comic book nerds for Supergirl. I think there is some competition there. Maybe not like huge competition, but maybe even wrecked. We'll see. But yeah, so we are getting Jackass that June 26th. So maybe get stoked, maybe not. We'll see. Speaking of sequels nobody cares about, Enola Holmes 3 first look drops as Netflix touts 2026 film slate, Heartstopper finale, Peaky Blinders, Tyler Perry, and more. So all 5 of you that were excited for Enola Holmes 3, there we go. Peaky Blinders is getting that film with the returning cast, so very exciting, I guess, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, speaking of Millie Bobby Brown, here it is, guys, episode 9 of Stranger Things, now on Netflix, The Vanishing of the Duffer Brothers. You know, but yeah, so the secret episode was not real, and so yeah, The Vanishing of the Duffer Brothers, very, very cute. Because this isn't happening, guys. The 9th episode ain't happening. Conformity Gate ain't happening. So, but yeah, and they're also one of the people that are also going to Paramount, in addition to Taylor Sheridan and James Mangold, because God knows Paramount needs all the fucking help it can get, because God knows they're not getting Warner Brothers. I haven't, like, fucking swam in a pool in years. Next up, Every Legend Has a Beginning. Smallville takes flight on Netflix. All 10 seasons, 217 episodes start streaming in Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, Ireland, France, Italy, and Austria. It begins streaming January 13th, 2026. So if you really want mid-level DC programming, then boom, there we go. You can rewatch all of Smallville. Chapter 9, The Vanishing of Good Writing. But yeah, congrats, I guess. Next up, White Lotus Season 4 to shoot at 19th Century Castle Hotel in Saint-Tropez. Season 4 will film at several properties, including the Chateau de la Messadière in Saint-Tropez. Cool. Alan Ritchson returns to Queensland to begin filming Sylvester Stallone-produced Navy SEAL pick for Amazon MGM Studios. He's found his niche, and congrats to him. Ben Affleck says Argo snub for Best Director was massive embarrassment. You know, there's, I mean, I can kind of agree with that, because it's just kind of one of those weird things of, like, why wouldn't you nominate the director along with the Best Picture winner? Like, it's one thing of, like, oh, they're not nominated, but, like, why wouldn't you nominate them and let them win if they didn't? I mean, I understand that there have been notices of, like, there have been certain times where the picture wins but not the director, but it feels like it should go hand in hand there. But whatever, it's fine. But it was the year of the horrible thing of everyone telling you you're going to get nominated for director. And so, of course, I'll wake up that morning, and sure enough, and by the way, it's not unlike any other morning that I had not been nominated for best director, but all of a sudden, it's a massive embarrassment. I woke up and people said, you didn't get nominated. Affleck's story reminded Kimmel of being at the Critics' Choice Awards the night prior, where one battle after another picked up major honors for Best Picture, Director, and adapted screenplay, but left leading man Leo shut out for Best Actor, which went to Timothée Chalamet for Marty Scream, much more deserving, mind you. You know, I just think, I can see where he's coming from. Next up, Great British Bake Off co-presenter Alison Hammond to host Bridgerton Season 4 podcast. Congrats, I don't care. Alamo Drafthouse goes mobile, getting rid of pen and paper food orders to protect the movie-going experience. So, God forbid if you don't have a fucking phone, Alamo Drafthouse. Like, what I find so fucking funny about this is the same place that says, don't be on your phone or we will kick you out, is now introducing something where you have to be on your phone for. Make it make sense. Alamo Drafthouse, you're usually goated, you're usually great, no talking, no texting, or you're thrown out. Boom, love that. Everybody needs to take notes, everybody needs to have those rules. But this just seems like a weird transition, and to protect the movie-going experience, what the fuck does that even mean? How does that protect it? Why? Because, like, you're going like this instead of going like this? That doesn't make sense to me. Whatever, you're gonna be distracted if you're fucking ordering food by being on your phone anyway. Why is there a difference if you're doing it on pen and paper versus mobile? Is it because so somebody doesn't have to come in and take the order to distract you further? For getting food like this is always going to be a distraction. This doesn't fucking make sense. But hello, Enterprising. Nice to see you. Yeah, so, you know, Alamo Drafthouse Dine-In Theater chain that's popular among cinephiles is trying to reduce distractions at the movies. So the Texas-based cinema company is introducing a new mobile ordering service that will replace the traditional mode of pen and paper at the hands of servers. Starting in February, locations will utilize a digital system that will let the guests browse the menu, order prior to and during the film, and pay directly from their phones. The custom-built dark screen system is designed to minimize interruptions that currently take place as guests are placing orders and paying their checks while the movie is playing. Despite the necessity of phone usage for any hungry audience members, Alamo Drafthouse maintains that its famous no talking, no texting policy will remain in place and enforceable by employees. So, like, you could say you're just ordering food then if you're texting. They're like, oh, we're gonna throw you out. Well, I'm just ordering food, bro. I'm just ordering food. So yeah, you can get away with like texting now in the theater because you're like, oh, I'm on my phone, bro. I'm just ordering like cheese sticks. Like, this makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. Like, Alamo Drafthouse, guys, you're great. We love you. But like, this is a fucking ball brain cock. Like, it would be different if it was specifically like a thing that was mounted to the seat that would actually be like designed specifically for dark screen so you're not distracting people. But the fact that you have to take out your phone anyway, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. Like, if this was AMC or Regal or Cinemark or Showcase doing this, I'd have no problem. It's fine, because they don't have a policy that's no texting, no talking. Alamo Drafthouse does. Yet, you're introducing something that will have people, force people to be on their phones. Exactly. Why can't you just order before? Boom, there we go. Why are you ordering in the middle of the movie? Like, damn, I need a pretzel right now. 20 minutes into Primate. I don't get it. This is dumb. That's, but the thing is, Alamo Drafthouse, up until this point, Alamo Drafthouse, the best. I will say they are the best theater chain, even though I have never been to an Alamo Drafthouse. They are the best, purely because they have the no talking, no texting rule. It should be, if you are opening, every theater company should have that rule. No talking, no texting. If you talk or text, you're kicked out. That is what it should, the bare minimum should be. No talking, no texting, you're out. That should be a legality standpoint. 100%. Bro, everyone's watching the third act of Secret Wars, and a huge moment is about to happen, and then beep, 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 can I order a large pizza? You know, I don't know, just doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make fucking sense, you know? We do have one more, and it's Daniel Craig reacting to Beignet Blanc on Sesame Street. Obviously, we're not going to show the entire thing, but Daniel Craig loved seeing his character on Sesame Street. He absolutely was dying laughing. He loved it. He's like, I grew up with Sesame Street. Seeing this was great. He's like, the only thing that I didn't like was that I was personally not called to be on Sesame Street as the character. But yeah, lovely to see. Very cute. But yeah, now it's done for Crooked. Sorry, I missed that last one. But now we move on to bigger and better things. And what is bigger and better things, you may ask? Well, that is, of course, DCU Daily, but we have to play that wonderful little intro first, and I have to thank everyone for watching the news portion of the show. Thank you. We appreciate you. And with that, we will move on to DCU Daily and have us be blessed by James Gunn.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot, right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see...
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you really I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to DCU Daily, guys. Lovely to see you all. We are here to talk all things DC. Quick hits. What did James Gunn say? Batman 2, Man of Tomorrow. All the things. So, let's get that ticker going and truly get into DC news. First, with the DC Quick Hits. The Parrots, Ducks, Pelicans of DC News. So we will be getting into that first, and get into that. But before we get into that, truly, let's get nuts. Honka honka. It has begun. Little Superman emoji. Is that Dan rapping the DC intro? No. Hashtag blessed. Hello there, Mr. Bond. Shall we solve the math mystery? But no, neither of us can rap. Please, God, no. No. You don't, trust me, you don't want that. Guys, don't give him any ideas. Jesus Christ. No, don't do it, guys. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's get into the DC Quick Hits. God damn, I keep getting fucking stuff for this. Like, why? Sorry, I just keep getting notifications for everything, and I don't know why. Anyway, let's get into the first bit of DCU news, is that James Gunn Superman, which we won't play because we don't want to get demonetized, but bold, immersive, and technically ambitious James Gunn Superman is praised by Rolling Stone as a film that actually feels like a living, breathing comic book, a landmark achievement in cinematic spectacle and visual effects artistry. And it is specifically Framestore who did a lot of the effects for the film. It is for your consideration for best visual effects. It is on the short list. It is on the short list of best visual effects. So, I do hope, I mean, it'll get nominated, but the thing is, it's coming out the same year as Avatar, Fire, and Ash. So, you know, it's not going to win, but it would be nice to see it get the nomination. So, you know, because every time, because as my friend said, the year that Avatar doesn't win Best Visual Effects at the Oscars is the day pigs fly. So, you know, I don't think Superman's going to win, but it would be nice to see them get nominated. So, you know, I think, you know, it's a fucking comic book, bro. Like, calm down. It's not that serious. You know, it could have been more like, yeah, you know, the thing that bombed and only like a collective few actually like. Yeah, okay. I hope so too. But, I mean, they already kind of did that with Man of Steel, so maybe they didn't want to copy it? Anyway, so this is for your consideration, so that's nice to see. And then, now we have WB, designing the sound of Superman's flight meant creating a sonic language that feels powerful, immersive, and truly airborne, brought to life through the collaboration between Skywalker Sound and Warner Brothers Post-Production Creative Services, mixed on Stage 9 in Burbank. The sound team is this. I think this is kind of another for your consideration. Or this is just a generic behind the sound of Superman. I will say the sound was very good. I think it's also being nominated for that as best sound. So, I think the sound is definitely great. I think it's definitely, really wonderful to see. And, nice to show off the greatness of what was achieved here. But the thing that I really wanted to talk about here, I was looking up Lars Eidinger for something, and I felt that this was an interesting chat. I think, I was looking him up, and I saw this clip of him doing Richard III, and although you can't hear it, this was a performance, and it just looking at his face, looking at the way he delivers his lines, and he's delivering it in his native German right here, even with the subtitles, but this just, I think the way he's, like, delivering everything and the way he's, like, doing all this is very intriguing, and I think we have a good Brainiac, guys. Like, even though we're not really familiar with him all that much, I definitely think that Lars Eidinger is definitely, because it's just like you guys can look this up. It's on Reddit, or you can look up the performance of Richard III with Lars Eidinger in the role. But unfortunately, we can't, post the sound unless I exit out of this and then redo it from a tab point of view. But you can go look it up. It's only like, it's 24 seconds. So any villain speaking German yeah, because I always go to that Flula Borg interview with Conan O'Brien where he was like, yeah, gee, I wonder why Germans always make the best villains. Do you remember the 1930s and the 1940s? Like, hello. Yeah, I'm aware of that. That's not Brainiac 5, that's yeah, I'm aware. Brainiac. Lars's Brainiac will be a modern-day Heath Ledger as Joker. Calling it, no one sees it coming, but I believe we have a modern great coming in a few years. I hope so. I mean, he definitely has the vibe here. He definitely has, like, that. Again, if he doesn't go full, like, high evolutionary with it, James Gunn just lets Lars do his thing, then we're in for a good time. Because I feel like he might want to go too jokey with it, which might be a bit much. And frankly, I don't want him to do that, so obviously we'll see. But, this guy's going to rock. Yes, Caleb from the goated Dark Knight. Way too early, you're getting too hyped. Yeah, at least, Caleb could spell T-O-O properly. I have that feeling this could be generational, Gotta trust that gut feeling. You know what my gut feeling said? That Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday are not gonna hit $1 billion. So, we'll just have to see. Also, hello, emo nerd girl. Lovely to see you. Yeah, honestly, it might be. Because 2026 might be a year outside of, like, I mean, Marvel is gonna kill it, but, like, DC might be, it might be okay. Like, I think Supergirl's gonna do a good job, and Clayface might be like an underground hit, so we'll see. I just hope whoever buys WB doesn't ruin everything. Yeah. I'm iffy. I'm holding out hope, but at the same time, it's hard to hope. Never in a billion trillion years would Steve Martin ever be Brainiac, and he wouldn't be a good Brainiac either. Like, maybe in, like, a Super Friends adaptation, maybe, but, like, even then, too old and no fucking way. But yeah, James Gunn handled the ego from Volume 2 really well. I'm sure he won't make Brainiac jokey. Well, the thing is, the High Evolutionary, who is essentially like a Marvel-esque, who is a Brainiac-esque character for Marvel, that's the thing that gets me a little worried. But yeah, I just hope this is good, and the vibe I'm getting from this is definitely very good. But DC Comics debuts new villain as Absolute Joker's secret weapon. The Absolute Universe's Joker has big plans for number one enemy, and they involve a villain readers have been eagerly anticipating. DC reveals Absolute Deathstroke as Joker's new right hand. So that's very exciting for all you guys that are reading the Absolute Universe right now. So we're going to see Absolute Deathstroke soon. So that's definitely pretty damn cool. Brainiac also doesn't call him Superman, he calls him Kal-El. Please don't do the Spider-Man 3 Venom treatment. I don't know what you mean by the Spider-Man 3 game. Yeah, but of course he's going to call him Kal-El. What are we? Some kind of society? But yeah, High Evolutionary wasn't very jokey. Actually, a few tweets he could have been in Avengers. Yeah, it's just like he just yelled a lot. He was just kind of annoying, and I think he kind of came off as more funny than intimidating a lot of the time. So, but yeah. So anybody excited for Absolute Universe then? There you go. Next up, Neymar has reportedly purchased a custom-built Tumbler Batmobile inspired by Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy. The car is fully functional but not street legal, so you can't exactly drive the damn thing around, but it looks pretty in a garage, I guess, but like that kind of defeats the purpose of a car. So yeah. Cool, I guess. Next up, we have a DCKO. So, this whole thing that's been going on in the comics right now. But DCKO Boss Battle #1, it's being released on February 4th, and it has Superman versus Homelander. So this is the official cover. Couldn't think of it for a sec. But we have DC and Dynamite, because originally I believe they were at Vertigo or something after like the first issue. Then they went to Dynamite. I think that's what it was for the boys. So this is definitely going to be something. Hopefully Superman wrecks him like the fucking little titty milk sucking fucking bitch boy he is. So yeah, that'll be awesome to see. But exactly. I think we all want Superman to destroy him. But yeah, this is going to be for the ages, most definitely. But next up, we have people fucking annoying me. That's what it is. Nathan Fillion on if Guy Gardner gets along with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in Lanterns. I think everybody hates Guy Gardner pretty consistently. He's unlikable and he doesn't mind. He's okay with that. I think he's a very defensive guy. He's a guy with a chip on his shoulder, and he doesn't want anybody close to him, but he also doesn't care what anybody thinks. Yeah, it just goes to show that Nathan Fillion understands the character and knows how to do the character properly, and was one of the best parts of the movie, along with Mr. Terrific and David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan. So, as long as a guy doesn't die in Lanterns, it shouldn't be that bad. No, yeah. I don't think they're going to kill him. I mean, I read the leaks, and the leaks sound pretty consistent with what they're doing, so it's still kind of bullshit on who actually dies, but, like, I'll take it over Guy Gardner. He understands the character. I mean, pretty sure a child in a coma for the past 20 years understands the character more than Tom King. Yeah. Awesome. Next up, Zack Snyder remembering the bad times. Next up, just like a fun little thing of like, haha, Robin being in Batman's shadow. Very nice. Very cute. This is like a Pete Holmes-esque skit with the look and feel of Batman the Animated Series. So, but that's it for the DC Quick Hits. But But next up, we have, of course, another big thing of what did Gunn say? What did Gunn say? He did have some posts on Threads to talk about, so we are going to be talking about those. But first things first is him congratulating Beth Mickle on Art Directors Guild Award nominee in terms of excellence in production design. So James Gunn pumping up his crew, and hopefully she gets the win, because that would be great to see. But yeah, good for her, and I'm glad James Gunn is shouting her out. Next up, it was apparently Freddie Stroma's birthday yesterday, and so James Gunn, like he usually does with his cast and crew, he wishes his vigilante a wonderfully, wonderful happy birthday, and nice to see. But yes, congrats to her. Production design was fire. They deserve it. I agree. And happy belated birthday, Freddie Stroma. Then next up, they were on the set, James Gunn along with Jerry Siegel's daughter, Laura, and their grandchildren, Mike Watch and Jimbo Larbo, on set in Cleveland. So this is the full picture. So this is the daughter of, Jerry Siegel. I keep forgetting. I don't know if it was like Jerry Siegel or just yes, Jerry Siegel and his grandchildren. So, or what would be his grandchildren. So, yeah, awesome to see. Having like the proper comic book creators on set. But yeah. Then one more thing in regards to what did Gunn say. James Gunn, similar to what Vincent D'Onofrio did in regards to calling out bullshit movie facts that are not true, but somebody claimed that in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, this scene was off script and ad-libbed, and Sean Gunn was trying to control his laughter because it was not expected. Well, James Gunn said, nope, that's a big load of bullshit. Both Yondu's mocking and Kraglin suppressing a smile were, in fact, scripted. However, he did go on to say, but what is true is I shot the close-up of Sean in pickups because I didn't grab one on the day and I needed a cutaway. So he was actually in front of a blue screen for that shot, and we comped in an empty plate of the background from that day. So yeah, hardly breaking character. When you hear about reshoots, these are usually the types of things my team is doing. So never stop sharing stuff like this, because yeah, taking it to the haters who just want to hate. But yes, but yeah, that's it for what did Gunn say, and now what we have to do is get into Supergirl stuff. So we're going to get into that, and hang on. Can't see anything. There we go. Supergirl. Lovely. Very lovely. Anyway, so we're going to get into what is going to be, the summer of Supergirl. There was a reveal of this image of Millie Alcock in that spaceship, and her looking a bit disheveled, but her looking like either she's ready to fight or is fighting. A lot of people are saying that Superman is in the background, but I don't think that's true because his head's a little bit off. So, yeah. But this is a good image. It gives us more of a look. It definitely has more of a, yes, it's very brown, but it does have slightly better lighting and cinematography to it than what we have actually seen before. So there's that. But yeah, I think this looks great. I think I understand that, everything else. I get why people are upset, though, because I know people are like, oh, it's not as good as the comic. The art was one of the best things about the comic. But even with all of that, I still think this looks pretty good. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I mean, it could suck a lot harder. I will say that. But oh my god, a spaceship! It's like Guardians. Ah! Yeah, maybe. But yeah, awesome. Next up, we have the same shot, but somebody photoshopped in Melissa Benoist, Sasha Calle, Helen Slater, drew Supergirl from Superman the Animated Series, Laura Vandervoort, in addition to Millie Alcock in the role. So very cute, celebrating all the Supergirls that have come before, in the best possible ways. Then we have this lovely piece of artwork by the Toru Aldebaran. I don't think this is official, if I remember. Crop top. Okay. Exactly. CW $3 and a sandwich costume. Ouch. Also, Elite EZ is telling you to like the vid, guys. Make sure to like the vid. Come on, you don't want to make Elite EZ cry, now do you? Where's Power Girl? Not coming into the DCU anytime fucking soon. But yeah, it's a cool poster. I don't think, I don't think this is official, but it's a damn good poster. And I'm loving it. It definitely fits the vibe of the overall, vibe of the film. But yeah, I think that's great. This is great. But speaking of, I believe his name is Toru Aldebaran. Again, I'm probably butchering the name, but speaking of, he also made these little kind of sticker type things of, the space bus and like an alien, as well as Supergirl and Crypto's paw. So, just cute little things that showcase people's love for Supergirl. And no matter what the people will say, then, it don't matter. It don't matter. But yeah, that is it for the Supergirl side of things. Now we're going to get into the Batman 2 side of things. So let's get into that now. Of course, we are going to be talking about another major DC villain reportedly returning in the Batman Part 2. But even though I believe Matt Reeves and Matt Tomlin confirmed that, we're going to be getting a villain that has never been seen before on screen, things change. Maybe he was lying. Maybe he was bullshitting. Who knows? But it seems like, it seems like we're going to be getting a little bit more of that, and we're going to be getting into that soon enough. But Barry Keoghan is going to be playing the Joker in the film in a more concrete role. And obviously we don't know if the scene in question here is going to be canonical. So they might like, it might be kind of canonical, but might not be. But he is in terms of the scene in the post-credit scene with the Riddler and him in Arkham Asylum, that is canonical. So they might tweak his design a bit, because I was never a huge fan of the design. I get, it's supposed to be realistic. I was never a huge fan of it, but Barry Keoghan seems to be returning as the Joker in the Batman Part 2. So yeah, I just hope that he's not gonna have a major role, and he's gonna kind of be like a more of a Hannibal Lecter kind of role. But yeah, that is true. That is true. Next up, now we go into Sebastian Stan. This is the thing everyone wants to talk about, and we will be talking about it because, of course, we are. Plus the Fancast Friday, that's what it's about. Spoiler alert. But Sebastian Stan's Batman Part 2 role might have been spoiled by an unexpected source, but apparently Sebastian Stan's stylist, Michael Fisher, posted another photo on his Instagram story, seemingly confirming Stan is playing Harvey Dent in the Batman 2, because he also posted this one. Maybe this is just Michael Fisher trolling people. Maybe this is just like, they're taking the most obvious aspect. Because it's like, I can't imagine if Sebastian Stan is in talks that they're going to actually, like, give him the script right now, especially with how tight-lipped this all is, especially for a Batman movie, that they're going to, like, give him the script, especially, like, his stylist, you know, like, and he would know. That just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If he actually leaked the truth, Sebastian Stan would fire his, you know, hairstylist. So, now, the thing is, it could be true. It could be true, but I don't think he actually knows anything. I think he's just posting this for fun, or he's trolling, or something like that. But yeah, I think, you know, I mean, I think he would be excellent, but yeah, I think, you know, whatever his role actually is, I think it would be awesome. But this is coming from Jeff Snyder, so who the fuck knows. Was told last night that Reeves had found his dent. Was going to start asking this morning, but I was too slow. But yeah, again, this doesn't mean anything right now. I mean, I would love to see it, but this person's saying he might be playing Lincoln March or Hush, calling it now. So, yeah. But who knows? We'll see. But yeah, it's pretty much everyone is saying Harvey Two-Face Dent. Yeah. So I think that's kind of, whether the stylist or Jeff Snyder is saying it or not, I feel like it's kind of obvious he is. It feels like it makes the most sense, you know? But yeah. But, however, in order for there to be a twist of events, maybe he's not playing Two-Face. He might only be playing Harvey Dent. He might not be playing Two-Face, because there was a theory that since they're getting such a big name with Scarlett Johansson, and if she's playing Gilda Dent, aka Gilda Gold, then she would be Two-Face instead of Harvey Dent, and then Harvey Dent would just be the district attorney. Maybe he's trying to hide his wife's crimes, or maybe become like a Bonnie and Clyde situation. That could be interesting. But yeah. But this goes over Jeff Snyder's confirmation that said Stan playing Harvey, aka Two-Face, is an open secret. Yeah, no shit. And said that he's heard from sources that Mrs. Dent would have a bigger role than Harvey Dent. So it could be, since there's apparent rumor that Reeves is planning to loosely adapt The Long Halloween, even though he kind of already did that with the first movie. And he has said the Batman Part 2 will feature a villain not utilized on screen before, which would be the holiday villain, who is technically Harvey Dent in the comic, but who knows? But it would make sense to focus on Gilda as she attempts to lighten her husband's caseload by killing Gotham City's mobsters. Could the twist in this tale be that Harvey doesn't become Two-Face? Snyder and co-host John Roca later speculated that we may see Johansson's Gilda as a female Two-Face, something that has played out on the page over the years. Snyder also believes that the next major role to be cast in the Batman Part 2's older male, likely Harvey's father, or Dr. Arkham. I know, like, there was the brief instance of Brad Pitt being in the movie, and then Hollywood Reporter said, like, no, that's bullshit. So all right. But yeah, I think this is definitely something that's intriguing to talk about, and we will talk about it further on Fancast Friday. But for right now, we do have one more, and I mean one more story, kind of like a side tangent a bit in regards to what we're going to be talking about, is Man of Tomorrow stuff. Somebody referenced it a couple times in the chat already, but we're going to be talking about it again. And that is a rumor another rumor that Wonder Woman is going to appear in Man of Tomorrow. We've said this the last 10 times that the rumor is going to be that Wonder Woman is going to be in Man of Tomorrow, with James Gunn reportedly having held meetings with actors for the part prior to the holiday season. Batman is anticipated to be mentioned, although he will not make a physical appearance in the film. And again, this is coming from our trusty Snyder, Jeff Snyder. So take it with a massive, massive, massive grain of salt, because, yeah, why the fuck would you put Wonder Woman in a Superman movie? That doesn't make sense. It's kind of dumb. And why would you mention Batman? Also dumb. So, I don't think this is true. I think this is bullshit. But yeah. Maybe Diane will be in the movie, but not Wonder Woman. Maybe I could see that happening. But it's just you're doing so much already. You have the Justice Gang, you have Lex Luthor, you have this. Just don't do too much. You already proved everyone wrong by not doing too much with Superman. Let's not do this thing that people were claiming with this, Unless it's not. Unless they're trying to find Brainiac. Maybe it's a cross-universe kind of movie and they're trying to find him. Although that would be kind of ripping off Supergirl. So, we'll see. But yeah. Yes, we have, Caleb. Yes, we have. But yeah, I don't think this is true. It's from Jeff Snyder. It's probably bullshit. Because I know that they're a female, a big female is going to be in the movie. It could be Big Barda for all we fucking know, I just don't think, that the case of Wonder Woman being in the movie is true. And, until we get concrete evidence, James Gunn casting the part tomorrow, then sure. We were all oh, is it Brainiac? Is it not? Is it Brainiac? Is it not? And he finally confirmed, yeah, it's Brainiac. Okay, we're eventually getting to that point. But yeah, that is gonna be it, guys. That's gonna be unfortunately no questions. No questions for today. No questions and answers for today. But that is our program. Obviously, we will be getting into Fancast Friday, so don't you worry. Just give us a couple minutes to prepare, and we'll get into that. And we will talk about all the things in regards to Sebastian Stan's role in the Batman Part 2. So, until then, stay blessed.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go. Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you really I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Hunka hunka!
And since we had a heavy dose today, a one giant fuck Jeff Snyder, and also a light